Well, howdy, folks. It's been a couple of weeks since we had the last video. Unfortunately, usually I like to get them out weekly, sometimes even a couple of days apart or something. And for the past 2 weeks, I've been working on the house and working on the house and working on the house, and something happened. Yeah, this happened. Now, I won't get in too deep to this because this is not really, well, it's not the overall topic that we want to talk about today, but this is my one of my oldest solar generators, or it's power stations, and it's been running really good for about 3.5 years. It has been flawlessly doing a great job, and been charging and discharging daily. And after 3.5 years, you start to get pretty reliant that it's a good piece of equipment, seems to work great, everything's fine. And then about 2 weeks ago, I came in the shop here and I noticed this thing was down to like 19% charge, which is like, something is really wrong, and it went all the way down to 0. It's totally discharged right now. Took it apart, took a look at it. As you can see, I've got pulled the lid off and stuff, just take a look inside, pulled this board up and stuff and look, but it was like, how much time and money and effort can you make into something like this where it's not working, it's no longer functional, and you don't know why, it's just not charging. I tried the DC charge here and also, of course, put different set of panels on thinking something was wrong with the solar. Measure the voltage, everything's within spec, everything's good. There's no reason for this not to work, but it has stopped working. And I even considered the heat to be part of the factor because it is summertime in southern Georgia. We do have days here where it can get to be 100 degrees. So it was like, well, that might have caused the failure here, but we don't know overall what happened, obviously, because it just suddenly stopped charging, which is probably the BMS, which is your battery management system. Probably got too hot, kicked off or shut down, whatever. But at that point, we can't restore it. I took it and chilled it in the house, got it down to 72 degrees even, and tried to, see if it was, nice and cold, and then put the charge system back on it. It still same thing, no change, nothing. It's like, it's just not charging. So, ideally, the next step was, do we throw it away or do we fix it? And if we throw it away, we got to put it through like a recycle thing because of the nature of the beast. So the problem now is at the cost level, we're looking at around $239 or something for a brand new one. So is it worth fixing at that level or that price? It should be, but in this case, if it needs like a motherboard or something like that changed out, it was like, it's going to start running again. It's going to the repair is going to outrun the cost of just buying a replacement. Now, we have other power stations with us, actually quite a few of them, a lot of power stations. So there's no reason to say have to have this one. It's just, I'm really a little upset that it quit, but again, 3.5 years steady day-to-day use. I don't know if that was, there had to be more life in it than that, but at the same time, and it's like, did I abuse it? Was it too hot in the shop here? Because this was being used in Texas, southern Texas, where 100-degree day was pretty common, and in fact, the humidity was higher than it is here. And the shop it was in was non-insulated, which this is, so there was actually a lower temperature in here than there would have been, like, say, in Texas environment. So it should not have quit because of heat, but my money says, it was probably the heat that killed it eventually. But like I said, it just surprised me. It just all of a sudden decided to throw me this curve and say, okay, I'm not charging anymore. I'm not doing anything. I did take a measurement on the board here, and I've got my 20 volts or so, 21 volts coming up here on these lines. But over here on battery 1, we've only got 3.5 volts. I don't have a diagram, so I'm like, I don't know. And then there's a battery 2, I guess we'll call it, and it's putting out nothing. But again, you have to think in terms of that may not be this board. It may be that this board is being told, don't do it, from something else, because obviously all of this is cabled and tied into other boards down below. And there are so many boards in this thing, I would not want to start playing let's change boards to see if that fixes it problem. So Overall, right now the experience is to just save the hardware and just throw the rest of it away and just be done. You know, just call it a bye-bye. In fact, we can even disconnect the solar cables here because, yeah, let's see if we can get those off. There's no sense in having the NC4 cable hooked up anymore because this thing is toast. In fact, even this is garbage because I don't have this cable on anything else here except this Pecron unit. And this is an older, like it's an older unit. I don't think they even sell this one anymore, but they got these terrific screws, you know, yeah, you know, and look at these screws, super long Phillips screws, really cool. So I guess what we're gonna do is just pack it in and just say it's off to the recycle because we can't do anything else with it. And I'm not planning on spending any more time on it. We have another one here, and I think it's in the same category. I think it's a no longer made one, and let me just pull that out for you and just take a quick look at it. Yeah, here we go. VTO man. This one has one thing I do like. This one does not, and that's a little storage container up here in the top where you can store your cables and stuff. But also this one charges a little different. I don't remember. I'll take a look. Yep, Anderson cable. I think that's the 30 amp Anderson cable, but it doesn't allow 30 amp in. What I don't know off the top of my head is what the solar limits are on this. I think it would be nice if it would say, but it does say it's 200 watt max. So 200 watts of solar coming in at what voltage, I don't know. It doesn't seem to have that on here anywhere. And I'll be looking pretty funny if I try to look for the manual for this. I'll have to look it online to see what the limitations were. I don't even know if VTO man is still around or not. We had this one. We also had a large one, I think, from VTO man. And I don't know if that's in the box or it's not here anymore. I did see a VTO box in the shop, so we'll bring that over maybe at some point in the next day or so and just have a look. But this could easily replace this for what it was doing, as long as, of course, this one doesn't overheat and do something silly. The only thing that scares me, this one here has been just laying around for unused for probably 1 or 2 years now. And I'll just show you what's going on here. And again, to activate, I guess you just press a button and yeah, there it goes, it activates. And you'll see immediately 100% full. Yeah, it's just sitting here full. So not the way you should store them, but it does say that VTO man hopefully it must be a pretty good unit if it stays stored all this time unused. It's still 100%. The ratings on the outputs, I don't remember what they are. They wouldn't be, I don't think they're the same as this, but you know, and look at the difference in the size and everything, but I believe this model here had more storage capacity, but I don't think it was rated as high for the AC output. I think it was a 300 watt machine, but again, I wouldn't swear to it because I really haven't looked at anything. I think maybe it's right here. 110 volt. Well, who didn't know that? Oh, there we go, 600 watts. This one here was, I believe, 1200, but with a surge maybe. Again, can't remember. Because it was confusing because the model was 600, but it wasn't actually 600, it was 1200 watt or something. But for my use, I was using on a system that only draws about 50 watts or so, and it was running that night and day for me. So it was running the all the tool charger batteries, systems, all the chargers, you know, it's just running all of them. And it would charge up every day, and during the night, overnight, it would, you know, slowly discharge down. It was only getting down to somewhere in that like 60% or something. So it was, you know, it was handling it overnight. Beautiful. Even if it got down as low as 40%, it really didn't matter because the next day the sun came up, bang, this thing, you know, in a few hours was full again. But again, the reason it was full is it doesn't have a lot of capacity. I think this one actually has more capacity for battery, but I'd have to see if I can find any information on this one. I believe this one has twice as much storage capacity as this one here. I don't remember. I don't even know if VTO man, I don't know if they're still around. I assume they are. They're still making, you know, these terrific little solar generators or power stations. Don't like the word power station because a lot of people get the wrong idea. You know, it's kind of like when I used to do programmable controllers. Yeah, I used to work on automation in factories years ago when I was a lot younger. People would ask, you know, what are you doing? And I said, oh, I'll engineer electrical engineering, but I work on programs for PC. And they would look at you, oh, you work on Windows stuff or something. Like, no, it's actually PC is, for me, is programmable controllers, not PC. Yeah. Yeah, where are we going with that? I have no idea. But this is a replacement for this right here, I guess. So we'll put that over here by our solar corner here because this is, I guess this is what our, we'll use this for charging all those crazy batteries, and then we'll plug some solar into it. But I've got to figure out a way to check the solar input and see what the voltage ratings are. This one, that was one of the problems with this one I did not like, but it was between 12 and 32 volts, what was allowed in. And I like the higher voltage from the solar, which I was running around 24 volts, or at least, well, 20 right now when I just measured it. But that came in from two small panels that were, no, they weren't in series. They were actually in parallel, and they were producing about 30 volts max, which at 32 volts means you're like right at the, yeah, starting to hit the critical part where at 32 plus volts, this thing theoretically would shut off and just say, no, not letting it in. But unfortunately, I think the BMS said, yeah, you're getting too hot. We're just going to call it a day or something. Who knows? I'm not going to, like I said, I don't really want to spend the time trying to fix something that's worth only a few $100s. Yeah, I don't know how that sounds to you guys, but, you know, it's kind of like, you know, for $20, I'll run across the street. For $200, I'll run a few blocks, you know. But at some point, you've got to realize that you may spend hours of your time getting this apart, getting the board out, figuring out where the problem's at, ordering the parts, getting them in, and putting it back together, spending all that time. Somewhere along that line, it's like, it may not be worth it. It might be cheaper and easier and faster. Just, if you need this, go get another unit. Obviously, yeah, I don't need this. You know, I don't need the unit. I have no use for it. If it called it quits, which it did, we just switch out to another one. In fact, behind this one, I'm trying to think of the number, and I'd say there's probably I'm gonna just take a guess. There's either 3, 4, maybe 5 more of units of this variant size that are small and compact like this that are here, that are in either boxes or in storage or whatever. Yeah, you know, it's that bad. So this was just handy. Found it, was like, oh yeah, this will work. It'll do the same thing as that one was doing. So yep. But we do need to know. We're gonna have to look it up and just see what the storage is for, or what the capacity is for solar to come in. And at 200 watts already, that means the panel size should be 200 watts, or it could be higher. Now, we had a product come in a while back, and I wish I could have got back to it. I've just been trying to get back to this, and it was, it should, actually, I'm looking for the storage bag even right now. I don't even know where that, oh, here we are. It's called Zoop, you know, and we've got a 300 watt set. But the beauty of having the 300 watt set is, as the sun comes up in the morning, you're going to hit that 200 sooner, and you're going to be able to hold the 200 or 300 watts coming in for a longer period of time than just say a 200 watt setup. Now I've got a 200 watt panel sitting outside right now, portable, that's sitting by the door of the shop here, and I could easily just run the line and plug that into it, and hopefully, you know, it should keep that thing fully charged, which it is right 100%. And I can't even give you the time. I'm going to take a guess and say at least a year and a half, 2 years since it was last charged up. So that's freaking amazing. Yeah, I would not have thought that thing was charged that long. The other problem I've got with these units, that one might be a problem. They have like a sleep mode where they totally just shut down, and they're not doing anything. Now, Most of them, if they have activity, like a little bit of draw of power on the AC side or something, they'll keep going. You know, they won't shut down. There was a complaint, I don't remember which model it was, maybe it was that one, where there was one that if you left it, even if it was just, you know, discharging an AC line to like a light bulb or whatever, it would still go to sleep after about 4 hours of of what it considered to be no activity, kind of like, you know, your PC computer going to sleep or your Apple, whatever. So this one here might do that. If it does, we'll just pull another one off the shelf. I don't recall whether that one has that feature or not. There was one that came in and I did have it. And I remember the frustration because I would leave it charging something on AC side and come back later. It's like, it's off. Why? You know, what happened? And it just decided there was no activity. So I just shut myself off, you know, like, no, you know, I need you to charge. Okay, so I did see something on the volt, the VTO man. It's 12 to 50 volt, which is actually a better range than this one here for using like portable solar panels. So that's actually really good. I like that range a little bit better because the panels I have portable, they're usually running 30, 40 volt. And this one at 32 volts was kind of like, you know, a little on the tipsy side. So if you have any comments or any knowledge about what happened here, you know, or any opinion, even comment in the below about what you think might have killed this. I did look it up. The VTO man that I just showed you, that little guy there is good up to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's important to know because it does get 100 degrees Fahrenheit in here, maybe. I don't know. It never has so far. Today, it's 100 degrees outside. It's 89 degrees in here without the AC running. So, yeah, anyway. Thanks for watching Coffee and Tools. Please like, share, subscribe, and ring the notice bell and comment below if you... Yeah. Over and out.